Gay marriage. Everybody seems to have some kind of opinion about it. I really have been needing to make a video about this, and I hope that maybe somebody can learn something from it. I needed to address a few points. People always have the exact same things to say about gay marriage all the time, and I don't want to call these people names, but I mean, there isn't even a word for the kind of answer that people have, and they always have the exact same things to say, and they always aren't good arguments. And I really wanted to address some of these points now because it's been really affecting me seeing and reading these things. I really can't stand it. I can't stand reading them, and I think I just gotta avoid internet sometimes because it's really been getting to me a little bit. But I do believe that there are some people that just don't realize the level of ignorance that they have, and for those people it might be good to talk about some of these things and address it. Okay, so they always have some of the same points, right? So I went ahead and I wrote down 5 of them, and I'm gonna come to them. Being gay is a sin. That's one that I hear a lot. Okay, there's a lot of things I could say to this, but I think that rather than people arguing back and forth about what's a sin, what's not, I've heard a lot of people make the argument about wearing cotton being a sin, for instance, or any of those Leviticus laws that nobody follows anymore, or even all over the Old Testament. Look, the important thing is that not everybody even believes in the Bible in the first place. I don't believe in the Bible at all, and I have my own reasons for being really against the Bible, and it has nothing to do with being gay. That's only, what people take the Bible to be. It's actually barely spoken of in the Bible, and those verses actually mean something much different, but that's a different story. There's a book on that called Living in Sin. Anyway, I think the Bible is a total pile of crap, and I can speak for myself that I had a lot of bullying growing up in times, and this was in large part because I believed that by allowing myself to be bullied, I was being like Jesus, turning the other cheek and stuff. It doesn't exactly work for us to teach our kids that we're supposed to turn the other cheek and be like Jesus, and then later when they're bullied, we tell them to stand up to the bullies. It doesn't exactly work. I will not ever bring my kids to church for this exact reason. The Bible is a pile of crap. I do not believe in the Bible. I guess that makes me an atheist, even though I believe in a higher power. I don't know, but I don't believe in the Bible, so anything being a sin is moot in the first place, and not everybody believes in it. If people are going to use that as a point, I would suggest that they think of a different point, if they can, if they're able to. They shouldn't use the Bible as their default point. Next, marriage should be between a man and a woman. Who is anybody to tell anybody who they should marry anyway? I can tell you for myself, I tried being with women. It didn't work. It was like two opposite ends of a magnet. The emotional stuff wasn't there. The physical stuff wasn't there. I guess I could have been an emotionally neglectful husband and father if I was to stay in a relationship like that, but why would I want to do that to myself or my family or my wife? That would be terrible. I wouldn't do that. And so that leaves 2 choices, being alone or being with someone. I happen to want to be with someone, and I happen to want kids. It's not that different than a lot of straight men or women out there. It's actually quite alike, except it's a man instead of a woman, and I have to adopt or use a surrogate or use foster kids instead of getting a girl pregnant because there aren't pregnancies involved in our relationship, but that doesn't mean that we don't want kids. I don't think anybody should tell anybody who anybody should love. If they're concerned, that's one thing, but just saying that it's wrong because it's not a woman, what is that? Don't tell someone what a marriage should be. It's totally wrong. It's totally inappropriate. The other thing is people will make a joke. What's next? Someone wants to marry their dog? All I can say to that is that's a stupid joke, and it has nothing to do with anything. We're talking about people that can talk. What does a dog have to do with a person? Nothing. It's a dumb moot point, but I'll try not to be name calling here, but it has nothing to do with anything. Why even say that? Next, why would you want to get married anyway? Maybe because I want the same stuff as straight people, the same rights, the same privileges. I want to be married. I want to have all the benefits of being married. Is that really that much of a problem? It seems like it is. I have to do a big road trip so that I can get married, and I've been meaning to for quite a while, but it's not exactly convenient to drive like 10 or 15 hours someplace when I have other things I want to do that weekend. I've been meaning to get married for a while, and I will, I just haven't yet. And I'd like to do it like on my street, but I can't. It's illegal here. Because silly people want to just keep retorting these same so-called facts and ideas all the time. But these facts and ideas are narrow and bonkers, and people never really take the time to think about them. If people are raised by gay parents, that'll make them gay. Okay? Wrong. Again, I'm not straight because I was married by a mom and dad. If anything, it made me think that hetero relationships were ridiculous. I got to see them fight all the time. I got to see how they didn't understand each other all the time. At least with two men, they could understand each other, and for that, I'm actually very grateful. It will not make kids gay. It will not make kids confused. And I've seen documentaries to people that have been raised by gay parents, and they seem more secure with themselves than anyone else. It is just so wrong. There is nothing... It doesn't do anything to confuse them. If anything, if they're gay, they would be more comfortable telling their parents something. And the other important point here is that people that have seen me with kids would tell you that I'm very gifted with them, I'm very patient with them, that clearly I need to have kids. And yet I've seen lots of parents, on the other hand, that have accidents, not kids, and then they have to deal with it, and they clearly were not meant to be parents in the first place, but then they have to be, and their kids have to suffer a rough upbringing because that's the best they can do. Now, what makes more sense? People accidentally having kids, or people adopting kids because they want them? And by the way, there's millions of kids that need to be adopted, so this should be something that's encouraged, but rather people want to just say, oh, there's the right way to do this, oh, man and woman equals baby. It's bizarre and ridiculous to me that people wouldn't want the millions of kids that need to be adopted. Wouldn't you want to give them loving homes? And instead people just want to say that, you know, they should be raised by mother and father. That doesn't make any sense. I almost wish my parents had divorced because of how much they didn't get along. I would much rather have been raised by two loving gay men that wanted to be together and wanted to adopt a kid. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up some points since those are the 5 things I keep hearing, and I am sad for the world because they can't open their minds to people's differences. And differences in the world are beautiful, and that's what makes life good, and instead people just want to crap all over it all the time and say that because something is different, they're wrong. And I keep relating this to, you know, black people and women not having rights before, and the weird thing is that I really like women, and I especially love black people, and I think that they're funny and cool, and I couldn't imagine anyone having that kind of hate or bias towards them, but I know that not long ago that was the case. I wish people would open their minds and see that we're really not that different, and quit it with the hate and the ignorance in the Bible and the Christianity all the time. They're moot points. None of the reasons that I keep hearing for being against gay marriage really make a lot of sense. It's just something that I think people should think about before they talk. And if they want to understand it, then ask. Don't just say, oh, it's a sin as your default of, you know, trying to find a way to understand it. Just ask about it. Somebody will talk to you. I'll talk to people. But don't just resort on an insult because that's like the only thing you could think of to say, or because it's something that somebody told you. Think about what you say. And if you want to know something, you should ask.